Good afternoon, everybody. Just give a thumbs up if you can hear me, please. That's fair enough. Great, thanks. Welcome to the Innovation Value Institute webinar series. This is a really important one and actually one close to my heart. Hopefully we're all looking towards a positive future, and I think we know that the new European Bauhaus movement is certainly part of that. We know the new European Bauhaus is a EU-led initiative, which has certainly gained traction over the years, and it's really got strength in its, I guess, innovations in construction, in development of new designs for outdoor space, buildings, and green space. And as a researcher working in that area myself, I think it's very fitting to have our great esteemed speakers here today. So I'd like to welcome our speakers, and I'll just introduce myself first. So I'm Dr. Tig McIntyre. I'm an environmental psychologist at the Innovation Value Institute, where I work on 2 EU projects, which are essentially on nature-based solutions, which is one of the related areas to the new European Bauhaus. I'm certainly very happy to welcome our esteemed speakers. So we got Anna Rosenqvist, who's Managing Director of Interior Cluster Design in Sweden, which is an innovation hub for furniture and indoor design industry. And we know Bauhaus is about simplicity, elegance, coherence, and we can see that these are certainly areas in which Anna has immense experience. And next, I'd like to welcome Annika Kadaja, is CEO of Woodhouse Estonia. And in Estonia, it's a country which is very much focused on a commitment to the new European Bauhaus and the Bauhaus movement in general. It's Europe's leading exporter of prefabricated timber buildings. It's a highly innovative approach to both modular and sustainable construction. And next we have Madi Alahi, is co-founder of Imperfect, a Brussels-based online platform that helps construction teams streamline circular construction data with digital passports. And then we have Vilte, excuse my pronunciation, Adamovicz, who's designer and researcher, a Lithuanian designer who specializes in bio-based materials, sustainable product development, who's based in the Vilnius Academy of Arts. So thank you all for joining us today.
Anna is the first one.
So what I'd like to do is, first of all, we'll have you, Anna, if you'd like to please share your insights.
Yes, thank you very much for having the opportunity to speak here today. Rebuilding the future is, it triggers me a lot. As you mentioned, I'm managing a cluster in Sweden. It's called Interior Cluster Sweden, and it's an organization that clusters around 100 manufacturing furniture companies, well-known, international well-known brands, and also sub-suppliers to them. So you could say that it's a little ecosystem in itself. And we work across the whole value chain, from raw materials to the chair or interior design. I normally say that it's from the forest and mining to ready-made products. And for me, when I started to learn about the new European Bauhaus, I realized that that's a very central, inspiration point in a way, because it comes directly from the European Green Deal initiative, and it connects all initiatives in that initiative, and also it will shape very much how we build and prepare ourselves for the future. And for me, it's very much like an approach to how we will build furniture or build houses or whatever. When I started to take on and understand what is this about New European Bauhaus, I actually went back and I got we all know, or most of us know, that the Bauhaus Manifesto was written 1919, by Walter Gropius. So I went back and studied the manifest from that time, and I realized that it's very much about what it says today about building our environment sustainable, beautiful, and to make sure that we come together. So it's very much about having a humanistic approach to the Green Deal and really implement our ideas. The starting point and the milestone for my work that I'm doing outside my cluster organization is actually very much with the academy. I'm right now sitting at the Linnaeus University in south part of Sweden, where I'm located, and at this university, it has a very strong profile of forest management and also informatics and computer science. And I realized that the future is very much about green and digital transformation. So we've actually started a Horizon project, and I'm so happy that I saw that there is a speaker from Lithuania, because that's actually the universities that we are working together with. And we are at the moment building a foundation, an area of excellence. Maybe it will become a center of excellence, and it's about green and digital transformation for forestry, for woodworking industry, for housing, and for furniture. The new thing for me is that the businesses in the furniture industry will become much more data-driven than it has been. Furniture industry is very traditional, as you might know. I guess it's the same in your countries. And the future, when it comes to European legislations, you might know that there is an eco-design legislation coming, and there will be compliance so that all physical products in the future will have digital product passports. The purpose of this is to increase the sustainability, transparency in where do we get our raw materials from, and where does it end up when we are done with our products. And for me, it's not just about compliance, it's also about turning that into competitive advantages for the small and medium-sized industries that I'm working with. I'm not alone working with these questions in Sweden. I don't have any furniture cluster collaboration with Ireland yet, but I do have, as I said, in Lithuania. So I'm connected to a meta cluster where we are 14 cluster managers, and we come from 10 different countries. And why I'm mentioning this is that I believe that these kind of connections and collaborations will be very smart for us, because we do need to focus on smart specializations in the future. And that also connects very much with the new European Bauhaus. We need to look at the bigger picture. It's not just about forest management. It's not just about housing and construction, and it's not just about furniture. We need to put all this together. So in the new European Bauhaus initiative from the European Commission, they've initiated or asked smaller territories to create local chapters. So that's I'm one of the founders for the local chapter that we have where I live here in south part of Sweden, and we call it the local chapter is called Woodhouse Living. As I said, it's very much about forestry, wood production, housing, and furniture. So what are we then doing in these local chapters, or what are we actually doing in the new European Bauhaus initiative? Well, one thing is that I'm part of a task force called Affordable Housing. And I say, yeah, that's not my home area. That's not my expertise. I'm furniture, but I'm there because I think it's important to try to influence the changes and the movements, because housing and furniture interior design does connect. Another activity that I'm involved in is the new European Bauhaus, an education called territorial place development. And again, that has nothing to do with furniture, you could say immediately, but it might have, because it's about furnishing the outdoor areas, the public areas, the square or the bus station or whatever it could be. So we're actually right now writing an application, a Horizon application, where we will focus on street furniture and open environments. And then it's really cool because we are a lot of cluster organizations doing this together. So I think for me, this, rebuilding the future, or what the headline was, let me see what the headline was. Yeah, rebuild the future. There, I get very inspired by the new European Bauhaus approach of beautiful, sustainable together. And last thing I want to mention, what I'm doing, and maybe just to share why I'm here, why I think I'm here invited to this, is because I'm working close to Professor Markus Helfert at Maynooth University in the Marie Sklodowska-Curie doctoral network and the Entrust project. And that's about agricultural, I need to say, to bring data to business in agricultural sector. What I like for us to discuss maybe after this is, okay, what could we do together when it comes to New European Bauhaus? Could we arrange something where we could work together and bring this question forward? I will stop there. I see that my 10 minutes is coming close, so I will stop there, and then of course I'm open for questions afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Anna. That was really inspiring. I think your hands across the nations approach and reach out in terms of collaboration is very much central to the new European Bauhaus movement in terms of working together. So we can come back to that. Next, I'd like to introduce again Annika Kadaja from Estonia. You're very welcome.
Yes, hello. I tried to share my screen as well.
So welcome from Dublin to Tallinn.
Actually, I'm not in Tallinn. I'm in Viljandi. It's a small city in Estonia. So, but
Hey.
Either way, thank you. So, yeah, it's great to be here at the webinar, and it's always a pleasure for me to represent Estonian timber construction. And thank you for this nice introduction as well, because my main job all the time at these conferences, webinars, is to highlight that Estonia is the largest exporter of prefabricated wooden buildings. And then I try to explain what that means. So in the first minutes, I will also actually focus and describe what that actually means. And hopefully you can find some inspirations from our current practices. And I will focus today also more on the retrofitting side. So yeah, as I said, or as you said as well, we are the largest exporter of prefabricated wooden houses, and it has been already since the 2010. So more than 15 years, 14, 15 years, we have been the largest exporters in this segment. And I would say that Estonia exports as much as our next three competitor countries export together. And this also actually illustrates how important the industrialized construction and timber construction for Estonia as economy is. And when I talk about the prefabricated buildings, then actually we are talking about modular construction. We talk about industrialized construction solutions rather than just wooden private houses or saunas, garden houses that the majority of might think of when we talk about timber buildings. Here is one of the examples. Already in 2015, Estonians built the world's tallest timber frame building in Norway. It's called Tret, and actually it's still the tallest timber frame building that is also consists of 3D volumetrical units. So today we see quite high timber buildings, but they are all made from massive timber and is it CLT or glulam, but we excel really good in timber frame buildings. So just a small inspiration. But yeah, when we are talking about the modular construction technology from our perspective, then we understand under this terminology of creating these 2D flat panels, prefabricated panels, semi-modular, panelized solution. In every country, we call it differently, but basically they are like 2-3 flat packed elements. And then the second one is the solution where we are producing these 3D volumetric modules, providing full modular solution. And actually the second one allows us to complete the module itself up to 95% in the factory. And this is what our producers are targeting for. The more we can do different construction works in the factory, the more faster the construction can be, the higher quality we can provide. And one thing is the efficiency that comes from the factory production, but also the efficiency that comes afterwards when all the modules, or let's call them as components of a building, will be assembled later together on site. Here is one example, and I will say this is almost typical apartment building case in Estonia. We can produce and build up 6 or 7-story apartment buildings with 5 or 6 months. And compared it to conventional construction, it is really, really fast. But of course, it requires that you will put really much efforts on the design phase, and then to think through all the nuances during the whole construction process beforehand is really, really essential. But this is our backbone, what we have been doing here more than several decades already. And now I would like to come to the retrofitting point. As we are excelling the industrial construction solutions, then we have, or our producers have found also a way how to contribute in the renovation wave. We are facing a clear challenge. Not only in Estonia, we have the goal to renovate old Soviet Union time apartment buildings. The same case we see in Latvia, Lithuania, but as well in Germany. After the Second World War, there were hundreds and thousands of buildings built. Now they are not energy efficient anymore. We need to update them. And we need to find solutions how to renovate them really efficiently. And when speaking about Estonia, then yes, we have a goal to renovate 14,000 apartment buildings. That's nothing compared to the large countries in Europe. But it takes time for us, 100 years, if we do that in traditional manners. So we need to pivot. And our answer and how our Bauhaus producers have answered this challenge is actually through industrialized renovation, meaning that we are producing factory-made 2D panels that are already, where already the windows are integrated, where the ventilation is already integrated, where you have the insulation. And basically, we are just building or putting a coat over an existing building. And here is just one video example to showcase the solution. When the 2D elements have been produced in the factory, then it takes 2 weeks to raise the energy efficiency or renovate the old apartment building. And this is today's practices. And of course, we will step forward with this solution. In Estonia, we have today more than 20 apartment buildings already renovated with this manner. Here are just some illustrations. I wouldn't say that they look ugly. They look like new houses. You can't even tell that they have been renovated. This is the one thing. And the most important thing is that what the actual residents themselves highlight is that compared with the conventional renovations, there was like minimal disruption, in meaning that when the apartment buildings were renovated and the people lived inside and no scaffolding was needed. So as it took so fast, all the process, then it was really, really convenient for them. But they also showed us the results that there was 50-60% energy savings. Thanks to the installed ventilation systems, they have now much better indoor climate. We all know that when we are like renovating old apartment buildings and we are making it, we are insulating that in, then we have to take care of the moisture control as well, because it will accumulate if we don't let that out. And of course, with renovation, the property value raises as well. But we are really proud of that using this solution, the renovation pace can be doubled up. But during this process as well in Estonia, as said, we have renovated then more than 20 apartment buildings, but we had really tight cooperations also with our with ministries, different ministry agencies, the fire safety department, as it also required to develop new national standards and guidelines to allow this type of approach. And for our producers who have been exporting 95% of their products, then this is also a new product that they can today provide to other countries. And we have already several retrofitting done also in Germany. But what's next? Today, I would still say that we are in the baby steps with the first projects. Yes, there are tens of them already, but we see here huge opportunities, especially when we talk about this new European Bauhaus initiative. Yes, the renovations and retrofittings should also be done in sustainable manners. Using timber is one of the solutions. It should be beautiful, and it should be done in cooperation, not only between the public sector and private sector from the company side, but also engaging the residents who are living in there. And I'm really proud that in Estonia, there is today up running one project where 4 apartment building owners have been gathered together, and they have developed the architectural not solutions, but needs, what they are requiring, what they would like to see. And in collaboration, we are renovating those 4 apartment buildings together. But what else? Using industrialized construction principles in retrofitting, this also allows us actually to extend existing buildings, to build on top of the buildings. So there are many, many possibilities. And as long as we are working together, the better future we can provide. So yes, but that's really briefly about our current practices regarding the modular construction and retrofitting. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Annika. That was amazing. Good to see the work in within the city of Tallinn as well. I work there as part of Govering Reed's project, actually in the Vormsi Park district. But I think it's a city with huge ambition. And that's really why all of you are here today, because you've shown ambition and expertise in this. And now I think we move to Brussels to Madi Alahi. Good afternoon, Madi.
Hello, everyone.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for the intro. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, if I share this. Then I'm not sure you are seeing the current. Oh,
We're seeing presenter view, so you just might have to click.
okay, so I'm gonna stop it. Wait a second.
And how is Brussels today?
Cloudy, rainy. Not very rainy, but it's very cloudy.
Not very different from here.
Not very different from here, but we can see some blue sky, which we always cherish in Maynooth.
Let's try again to see if it's no, I think you're still seeing the wrong one. Sorry. I have to share. It's always strange. I know. I don't know why it is. 1 second. I'm gonna fix this.
While you're fixing that, I can just explain that our building here is a smart building with CO2 monitors, right? So just to show that you may have felt some stress here because the window's just opened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
So it's like our stress barometer. As a psychologist, are very interested in any measure of stress. So when the window opens, we know that the CO2's got a little bit higher here. But do take your time. You know, Brussels, in fairness, given the Green Deal and the new European Bauhaus movement, is actually at the hub of this. So go ahead, Matt.
And now it's
It's all good.
It's all good now, right? Okay. Okay. Today, maybe we start from a very simple question. And the question is circular construction economy and why still it's small. And we all know about the construction, about circularity, but maybe just for today, we think about another part, which is the economy and the market of circular construction. A step back and think about the first principles, and maybe there are something lies in there. So what we have in the construction sector is something like this. So normally in other sectors, top 2% of companies has the 95% of the market share. And in construction sector, we are facing something completely different. It's, depends on the region, but top companies only have about half of the market, and the rest is in the hands of the other companies, which means it's super fragmented. And what we are now, what's happening at the moment in the circular construction, we are not even close to break-even point because simply we are somewhere around here. And the reason is that the scale of the supply, the unit sold are still very low. This is we have some pilot project, of course, some project, but when we look at the deep in the numbers, we see that they are always subsidized, or the clients kind of prefer to do it for some other reasons, not for the profitability. So we are still far behind the break-even point. And what's happening actually at the moment is like we are going to a car dealer and asking for an affordable second-hand car, and car dealer say, yeah, we don't have it at the moment, but we are gonna make it for you. Because this is the current situation of the market. And then he said, yeah, here your beautiful second-hand car, and what is the price? I mean, the price is like 100K. Why? Because we customize it for you. We didn't have it. We try and build it, and it's expensive. I mean, the fact is, it is still expensive. Although all many things happen and we try a lot. And if you look at where we are in innovation diffusion, based on the numbers, we only have the 1% of the market share. So it means that we are somewhere here. If we are not more to the left, we are really here. And what we are doing is we are focusing very much on the regulation and policies. which is really doesn't help. It's like we are not having the product and what we want to regulate it. And if we look at the market, because there is no there is no player that have a significant say that it works and we have a significant market share. Significant, I mean only 1-2%, I mean. And then we are regulating what? I mean, this is the question. Maybe it's a bit unorthodox, but regulating something that doesn't exist really doesn't make sense, and maybe just drawbacks and makes us more slow. So if we look at the model out there, we have two sides. One are resellers or marketplaces. The other side are suppliers. Supply could be from anything, any construction sites or contractors. And we have, on the vertical, we have two sides. We have low scalability, which is normally consultancy, and the highest scalability, which is automate everything, something like software as a services. And the current focus is somewhere here. We still do it by manually consultancy a lot, and also we focus on reselling something, not to more supply to the market. So we have a good inventory. Our inventories are really lack of many things. They are not complete. They don't have warranty. They don't have insurance, and all these insurance warranties, the complete inventories are here. It's not a responsibility of the buyers. It's not the responsibility of the clients. The suppliers and the supply should provide that, like any other industry. If you go to the car manufacturer, it's already insured and everything happening before that. And yeah, our focus should be here to supply, but supply in scale, something in scale, because we should make the price affordable and competitive with the new materials. So this is, we can make the market works and reach the break-even points by the price. So the loop is something like this. We have the construction businesses, then we have waste management. The waste management should be supply, and then the circular procurement. At the same time, we should do the impact assessment of all this process. So what we are facing is a bit complex. It's not something very straightforward. We need something to have, we need a big inventory, and at the same time, we need a good assessment of the impact and everything. So why marketplace and circular marketplace service, and why at the same time waste management and impact assessment tool? Because as we saw at the beginning, it's very fragmented. We should provide something, a marketplace service, so small actors can involve. And then it should be connected to our software as a service, so we can see the waste management and impact at the same time. So this is an intro to what we are seeing in the market very quickly. So we are imperfect. We are enabling construction to profit from circular economy, and we are based in Brussels. So we all know about the why now, because as we see, this construction sector is behind what's happening in comparison to other industry, especially in circularity. And we have a quite complex customer segments, and they don't have the right tool to do and manage circular projects. It's not easy for them. So because of this whole inefficient process, we see at the end about 1% circularity rate. What we do, actually, we connect this to Circle. I mean, we really provide the service to do a real-time and collaborative inventory, and it's ready to share. And it means ready to share, it means it can be sent to another businesses for the code and also for the audits and do the impact assessment at the same time. And the context should be holistic. I mean, we do it for construction, in-use assets, and deconstruction. And the solution, of course, is a digital material passport, but it's quite easy by making it automate, and it's only with the tablet in the sites can happening. So there is no need for predefining many properties and information in the office, and it could happen on the sites by collect material data with predefined inventory, assess the circularity and carbon impact, and generate real-time digital material passport, and all this integrated. So at the end, we have the, we connect this on-site collecting inventories and then connect it to the specific marketplace, so they can invite other businesses to in their showroom, online showroom, so they can see what inventory they have, and also create a passport for all materials, and do the audits, make the life cycle assessments, and yeah, the whole approach. I see my time is also not a lot, so at the end we deliver real value by make it faster and unlock the material on the sites. And yes, I'm Mahdi Alay. Our website is imperfect.city, and you can see my email if you would like to talk, or we can even explore some ideas. I'm more than happy. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Mahdi. I'm actually quite interested in how your work fits in with the eco design regulation from the EU, which we'll deal with in a discussion towards the end. But next we'll go to Vilte in Vilnius. Welcome. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll just get you to unmute, sorry.
Hi, everybody. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you. Just take your time and get it into full screen.
Is it okay if I show like this?
This can work too. Yeah, that's fine. If you can't go full screen, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for having me here today. I'm going to talk about sustainable design and architecture. This concept of using hemp in industry instead of wood is right now. The exhibition is shown right now in Venice Architectural Biennale. So if anyone goes to Venice, please welcome to take a look. And I'm working with hemp and hemp fibers about 10 years already. I'm a farmer as well, and we have our farm in Lithuania where we grow hemp shapes. And the reason why we do this because hemp is a great medicine. It's also a plant that is environmentally friendly. You don't need no chemicals to grow it. It doesn't take a lot of energy to process it. You can really use the whole plant, like from flowers, you can make medicine, like city oils, cosmetics, and from the stem, You can make ropes and cloth, and the hem shives are shredded fibrous component of hem stems, and the best properties of them are thermal resistance, acoustic characteristics, and also resistance to flame. So basically, I use main materials. Base materials are fine, clean hem shives, then hydrated lime and putzolans, that is volcanic ash, and then binding materials. You can also use like hemp fibers and flax seeds, vermiculite minerals. While I was studying in Iceland, I was also doing research on how to use seaweeds as binder, like extracting alganates from seaweeds, and also calcified seaweeds. So I had made some research book of recipes. You can find it online. I will later show you the website. And also I was experimenting with natural pigments. So for example, like red cabbage, bird charcoal, or red granite. When you in of colors in natural pigmentation. Then you can see here is, you hear me? I hope you hear me. This is some samples from experiments of natural pigmentation that were presented in many design weeks across the Europe this year. And another subject that construction is sound absorption, acoustic absorption, dissolution, and natural resonance damping. So I can share with you the projects that we made in Kuwait, this wall, for example, especially in the gallery, it was made by Ramder technology, where you just have a walled and pressed hempcrete step at a time, like going up. There's how the end result, and there's many other options to experiment with this technology, or doing like divisions between rooms. Also, it's possible to create acoustic furniture that you can use in public places, or maybe in also the interior. This is a small picture of a hempcrete interior art studio in Belarus. Also, you can see this one in Spain. Also, it's like a bar counter in a restaurant. So these hempcrete materials can be used in public spaces and for materials as well. This is also samples of preparation for Venice architecture biennale, where we're making also a similar set of virtual components. Many options of other type of furniture can be done using this technology, using like different fraction hem shives and colors. So you can also combine metal and glass and other materials. Another project is to create this like playful backgrounds for kids that they can during the workshops create their own figures, and then they can be displaced in kinder schools, and also use on the sound at the same time. Some more options of how hempcrete can be used as texture and acoustic panels. This project with Hem Pharma right now is on European Bauhaus finalist list. And this Hem Pharma project I created together with technologists. We made the sound absorption text for samples first, and then created a 3D modular construction based on mechanical engineering data that adapted that generates the structure of elements applying parametric design method. And these boards can be, they are done by pressing method called hot press. And then it can be used as panels, acoustic gas, dividers, multifunctional rooms, acoustic furniture. So you can see some of the samples from the exhibitions. Some acoustic furniture ideas, also other options of panels. Hempcreters also can be used in the wall and floor and fill insulation, modular blocks. Already a lot of buildings are built, especially in the United States right now. It's getting more popular to use concrete, but I think it's a great solution to look at this material as a future construction material, not only for interior design, but also building making. Sharing some other projects where it's like bricks and blocks. These houses can be built also quite fast, and then you can use other elements to decorate it. So again, if any students visit the exhibition, Chiesa di Maria Church. And this is my front application. Thank you.
I'm aware of so many of these properties. I think that given that I think it's about 22 million people suffer from disturbance from noise pollution in Europe, I think the noise attenuation impact gives a lot of potential, certainly in urban spaces and in areas where you're likely to have dynamic noise. So that's really, really interesting. So what I'd like to do now is just we move to a panel discussion format. So I'll try give each of you a somewhat distinctive question. And Anna, because as we say, you open the door, we can pose the question directly to you. So I think the EU funding for New European Bauhaus in 2025 is circa 120 million. And there's a November call, which has certainly got your interest and our team as well. What's the role of demonstration in EU projects in showcasing and upscaling the potential of New European Bauhaus?
Oh, well, I think showcasing what can be done is very important, and we need funding to dare to go beyond where we are today, because nobody will invest in prototypes or models or whatever. So that's where I think that the European funding from the European Commission becomes very valuable, and I always want to bring research with me so that we don't just develop new products, because the world doesn't need new products. We need to do smarter things than we already do, and so that's why I want to collaborate with researchers, so we bring knowledge also. So what we will do with this call that closes in November, that's called Street Furniture, is really to take this little village where the road through the village is some kind of main road, but it goes through the village, so it splits it in two parts, and this little square that is there, and the bus station or whatever it could be, sometimes these outdoor areas are dull, boring, scary, dark, cold, you know, you feel lonely, you just don't want to be there any longer. What if we create street basketball or other kind of outdoor things? And that's my point right now. I don't know what it is, and that's why I think it's wonderful that we have these calls, that we can do real life pilots, and from them we can then showcase and share with others, because I think we have the similar problems or difficulties. Then when it comes to affordable housing, for instance, there we know it differs a lot between our countries. We have the climate differences from South European countries up to us in the north, where it's colder, and compared to what it is in Spain and Greece at the moment, or during the summer. So and people, younger grown-ups, they tend to stay at home together with their parents much longer, because it's difficult to find affordable housing or living. So we need to find solutions to build cheaper affordable housing. Another thing is also, how do we prepare for when we get old and we should stay at an elderly care center? How is that done in Sweden compared to Italy, compared to Ireland, compared to Brussels, and so on? Here we can also learn from each other, you know. We have, and for me, it's about turning cultural clashes, cultural differences, and find what are the similarities. How can we learn from each other? So
that's a beautiful way to describe it, because I think you've actually very much focused on the social element. So we have differences, climatic and what we might call biogeographical, and some cultural differences, but actually our commonalities are much stronger than their differences. And how you're describing, you know, creating street furniture to make an area somewhere people want to be, rather than somewhere they just have to pass through, sounds very much central to that.
I just want to add also, when it comes to areas, you know, where you feel that you don't want to be when it's dark outside and things like, I think that's also important, because unfortunately we can see the difference, you know, from the, I'm old enough to say that I can see the change in 30, 40 years, you know, from being a child out playing. I was never afraid. My parents let me be everywhere. You know, I always came home when it was dinner. That's not the situation it is today, not where I live, I guess, not where you, and that's also a thing when we talk about, you know, togetherness and beauty and things like this. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you're exemplifying something we might associate with Sweden in terms of design and creativity. Annika, if I move on to you, you've obviously successfully upscaled your innovations. So the scale at which you're working certainly would be of interest to many local authorities and municipalities in Ireland. So we know we're dealing with I guess housing shortages is common across many European cities, and your role is very sustainable. So to what extent, and I'm bringing in a bit of an Irish interest here, one of our advisory board, he's now deputy leader for the Green Party in Europe, Kieran Cuff, was an MEP, and he brought through the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. So I'm sure you're familiar with the eco-design regulations, and to what extent do you welcome more regulation in this space, Annika, in terms of your own innovations?
Thanks for the question, actually, and showing the interest from the Irish case. As a background, I have now been peeking the Irish market for now 2 years. I have been visiting, and Sean Armstrong from the, what is the ministry now? Anyway, yeah. We have had several, yes, we have had several delegations from Ireland to Estonia, and actually to also we want to understand what these your like real obstacle, because you have like this is tremendous topic for you. You have such a like shortage of the housings, especially like the affordable housings and so on. So, but today where we see we have the interest from our side. For us, it's like nothing. We can like provide you the modules and just build it, right? But it really comes up to the regulations. How mature are your regulations? But the thing is that in our case, we are building timber buildings, and this is the obstacle today. You are also producing modular buildings and 2D buildings. It's doable, but not from timber. And from this perspective, there are today still some regulations that doesn't allow, for example, in Ireland, to build 3D volumetrical timber buildings. And this is what we today see that is the challenge for you in Ireland to even produce by yourself these volumetrical 3D buildings, rather than they are this energy efficiency, acoustical, whatever regulations and that are like obstacles. It's not the case. It's more, I would say, the regulations are not today mature for timber. I would say this is the challenge today in case of Ireland, or this is what we are today seeing. And the second thing is, compared to the rest of the Europe, Ireland is quite regulated regarding different certificates. Although we are all working in one European Union, and we have this, when we talk about this construction sector, we have this European technical approvals, for example, our companies have, but you cannot enter with that to Irish market. You have to have local, how to say, the certification, right? So, but operating in Germany, we can operate, we can build in Germany because we are relying on the European technical approval. This is also like the second thing that is like the, I would say, market obstacle, how to overcome it. Is Ireland really ready to open to market up for new innovative solutions that are coming abroad? So this is actually my question to you, to Irish stakeholders and the public authorities. So when we had the study visits, then this is something that I have really actually pointed out, how ready you are or how urgent you are to solve the housing crisis you have.
That's a fantastic question for us to pose to the cities we work with, which most recently are Limerick, where they project the population is meant to double by 2040, and Cork, which is similar projections in terms of the population. And I did really, just to pick another point, I really did like the innovation around the refurbishment of existing apartments, because that's probably where Ireland appeared to have, we're betting on that horse. So we think that that's a faster way to improve our housing stock.
Yes, this is also, yes, one of the challenges that we could like help with. But in Ireland, where do we like win with the efficiency? We win from there when we have like similar housing stock, in meaning that the buildings are similar and they are big buildings, 4 and 5, 6 stories. In Ireland, they are mainly 2-story buildings, right? And then not sure, is it now cost efficient to actually retrofit that in this industrial manner, even though if we are using the system where we're like laser scanning the existing building, then we will design the elements and then the elements will fit into the, like onto the building. So there might be this, it might not be so competitive in price. It's competitive in time, but perhaps it's not competitive in price, at least under today's like circumstances, if you're talking about like low-rise buildings that Ireland has. But if I may add a comment to Anna's remark, because I really like the idea where Joanna went to the affordable housing solutions and the future needs. We have today, I'm today writing an application for, not under the new European Bauhaus call, but under the Interreg call, where we also see that today we are designing still, even in the circularity manner, we are still designing buildings for 50 years. or for one function, rather than to really think of what happens afterwards, after the building. So we need to actually think of constructing buildings from different components that can be reused. It's not just like reuse the timber in the timber building, or let's reuse the gypsum board in whatever the building, or the concrete and so on. We have to actually develop a system where the whole components, like the whole wall elements with the windows, insulation, everything can be reused in other purposes again. And it only works when it's not just like one, I don't know, experimental building like for a pop-up cafe somewhere. We have had those experimental projects already, but we need to scale them up. So if you're today designing a 7-story apartment building where we have tremendous amount of different building components, then those components could be used after 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years in a kindergarten or elderly care home. So this is one of the applications that we are today applying a fund for, to also pivot this model, that we need to change the mindset of designing buildings for only 50 years. They need to be designed for reusing. So yeah, that's it. Now I will.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks so much for those insights. Because I drove by the school where I went as a child, and it's more than it's almost 50 years old actually. And my kids asked, you know, what will it be in 10 years? And I didn't think it would be a school. I think it will be repurposed, perhaps as a community centre or for sports. But that would take significant flexibility. And if that happens in the design phase and the construction phase, certainly using modular materials, they have capacity to have a more, let's say, Danish or Lego approach to it. But so thank you for sharing.
Exactly, yeah, like the Lego model. So you can later like play with play around all those Legos.
Yes, as a fan of Lego, I share your enthusiasm. So Estonia is unique in terms of European digital governance and leading in that area. So Maddie, if we go to you next in Brussels, we think of the digital component that we can add. And you actually really eloquently described some of the barriers we have. What do you foresee as the opportunities we have? Because I think we're in a different global context. So we're now, I guess, the Green Deal commitments are probably a little bit diluted. There are other priorities in Europe. There's political and geopolitical challenges on the table. So what is it you foresee as the opportunities for innovation to accelerate solutions right now?
Right. So that's a very tricky question at the moment, of course. But the opportunity here is, as I tried also to say a bit indirectly, is maybe it's not a word that we use it a lot, but we have to find the added value of the circularity more than just for the environment. We should find other added value in this, specifically about the economy and the profit and monetization, and make it bankable. So if we make it bankable, then the clients see and it's very tangible for them. Then they are more into it, and we can do more circular projects. Of course, at the same time, it's super good for the environment. And here is the thing that because it's difficult because of all the fragmentation, but we should develop something that the SMEs can also get involved, because as Anika said, we had enough pilot projects, I believe. The pilot project, okay, that works, we understand it. Everyone knows that, everyone have it in one region or one country, everyone sees it. So now, from now on, what we want to do, that's the real question, how we want to scale it. And the scalability is something completely different from the pilot project. We cannot apply the same solution that we've done in a pilot project, that a group of researchers and expert consultancy go to the sites and do everything manually, and we do the same. So the opportunity here is to create this digital platform that mix the marketplace idea with the assessment and inventory idea, that possible for everyone to join and use it, even they are not, a very big construction company or something like that. If we find the profit in that, that's going to be very beautiful, because then we can apply it even out of Europe in the region that maybe their main concern is not environmental, but if they say the profit and the bankability, we can even do it there because it's more affordable. And that's the thing. We should think about other parts of the world out of the EU, that is, the environment is not their concern as long as their economy is not good. And then they can do this. And I believe that it's possible to have this kind of approach, and it's possible to bring them this kind of construction and circularity when they see the economy benefits.
So essentially, the way to upscale is think more globally and think about the potential impact we can have global South, Middle East, South America, etc. And we can look at other with the potential future market, because if we do that using circular economy principles, we have huge wins.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
And just in the short term, how do we ensure that this gets to the top of the agenda? Because I do like the principle that, let's follow the money. Let's show that the financial imperative is strong. When we work in nature-based solutions projects, we try to demonstrate health impact assessment and cost-benefit analysis. We have to show that it saves lives and saves money. So what would the next step be to ensure that this becomes the story of Euronews, for example?
So the first next steps is to start from each region, start from their own local practice. So we've done a pilot project. Now it's steps to do it in a city level. Then we can go to the region level and maybe in a state level. So the city level, we are really we think that we've done it, but we've not done it yet actually. If we can do it in one city that have a very, very federated and complete urban mining services, then we can go to the next steps and scale it more than that. And of course, there's a limit of scalability in the construction sector, because it's not like other industry, because of the heavy weight of the materials. For sure, it shouldn't be scaled more than certain area. I mean, for instance, more than 200 kilometers is not sustainable or it's not profitable anymore. But we are far, far behind the 200 kilometers. We cannot even do it in radius of 2-3 kilometers. So in the radius of 5 kilometers, if we could do that, then we can apply the same model in South America, for instance, in a city. So from now, to be honest, our radius, if I want to say it very seriously and practically, is about a radius of 50 meters, really, because in one pilot project. And it's not more than that. Maybe in 50-meter project, radius of 50-meter project, we do something and collect something and put it somewhere else, but it's a pilot. We don't have, at least by my knowledge, there is no city in the world that have such a urban mining tool. We can say that, okay, this is what is it, and it's at the same time has the assessment, has the inventory, and has the marketplace feature that we can make it circular in the city, as I know.
Well, Ramani, remind us for our next webinar to ensure we have mayors and deputy mayors of very ambitious cities in Europe for starters. We may know some, so we'll come back to you on that.
Perfect.
Thank you. Vilta, so you've certainly broadened my understanding of the potential of hemp. I've seen it being used in construction projects before, but actually the role in acoustics was phenomenal. And have you been able to apply this in the urban realm to reduce noise pollution, for example, in the outdoors or in indoor scenarios in areas where you have, I guess, dynamic noise from either sport events or from industry?
So far, we made the acoustic booth for the office that people can go inside and have a relaxing conversation on the phone, for example. So it really works. We did some tests of the panels, sound absorption in Vilnius Tech University. And right now, since this project is kind of fresh, we developed the first panels last year on September. So now we are gonna work with factory and manufacture more panels and install them in educational systems in Lithuania, in the kindergarten, and also these like neurodivergent kids communities, the kids that has ADHD, and we are creating this like silent booth for them right now is ongoing. So the technical results are good. Now we need to start to use this mass production to get into the market and apply it to more people to understand them.
Yeah, it's got huge potential to support people with neurodiversity, I guess, it challenges, and to create quiet spaces in areas where noise is prevalent, for example, in the urban realm. So I think the potential for this is vast. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just ask for a comment from each of you. So, and I'm going to go back to you. So it's September 2025, Anna. I'm going to fast forward us to let's say 2026, the tail end of 2026. So the last quarter of 2026, what is it you would like to have achieved beyond achieving success in your funding bid for New European Bauhaus within the next year? And then the final one is, where do we need to go by 2030? Because it's actually not very far away.
Do you want me to? Yeah, thank you. Well, 12 months from today, we will know much more about the eco design regulation and where we have the legislation regarding digital product passports. And as I said, we're creating an area of excellence around this. We call it green and digital transformation for furniture and interior design industry. So for sure, 1 year from today, there's all the companies who have not yet realized what it means for them in changes in their business, everyday business, they will be in a hurry. So 12 months from today, I will have a lot of things to do supporting the member companies to fulfill the legislation. But as you said earlier, it's more about business development, because it will change the way that you do your business. And when it comes to 2030, I think that we need to slow down our consumption. And for me, it's goal 12 in agenda in the Sustainable Development Goals. It's about goal 12, responsible production and consumption. The companies that put products on the market, they have a responsibility to put good products on the market. And us as customers, consumers, we have a responsibility to take care of our consumption.
Well, thank you so much. I think that's that's very social media friendly soundbite you just gave us, Anna. And I do like the idea that this responsibility both on large scale companies and on citizens. That's really important. And I do also wish you success in your November NEB bid as well. Annika, if we go to you next, if you take the same two timelines, and you might just give us your foresight into those two dates and their impact.
Actually, within the next 12 months, we will put a focus on education, actually, from our side. Because one thing is to carry out different development works with the companies and so on. But today we are really lacking knowledgeable and motivated workforce who works for construction industry. And as an association, we have already established the Bauhaus Academy not only as an initiative, but we have already created e-learning programs to learn how to build timber buildings. It's more on the blue collar level today, but we really see that how to say it already works as a small kid, but now the teenager years should come, and we need to produce different materials for the design and so on. And we need to attract more youngsters to enter our construction sector, because we all know that youngsters are more attracted to IT or social media, so on. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. And 2030, I hope that we can be proud of ourselves that there is increased number of youngsters entering to the construction markets. Because really the change starts from the people, from the motivated people. So the more we have them, the more better policies we can create, the better future we can build for the others as well.
I really like the future proofing of your ideas. If we educate the next gen to be your ambassadors for your work, I think we'll do fine. And as a psychologist, I too agree. The faith is in people to change. If we start with that, we make great progress. Thanks so much, Annika. Maddie, the same two questions for you. In a year's time and then for 2030, let's just say it's no longer business as usual, and your best ideas have been grasped and are being supported by the EU legislative context.
Yeah. So first, in 12 months, if you are looking at it realistically, it's nothing. It just takes, I think, to take one permit in Brussels for big project takes 12 months. So 12 months from now, probably not a lot happen. But really, we hope to start work with one municipality to implement the solution. That would be very good if we could do it. And by 2030, to be honest, I hope to see other innovative solutions to make circular economy profitable in construction sector. So one of the problem I see, and I know it's a big problem, is that I don't see a lot of solution for the circular economy these days. So we are just repeating the other solution or we already had or in other sectors. So I really hope to see innovative solution or perspective about it. I think we are very conservative in this sector, super conservative, and that's one of the reasons. So in 5 years, if I just seen one other innovative solution, I would be more than happy.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your ambitions. And I'll be optimistic, and I think we can foresee the shared mandate becoming implemented across EU for starters. And I like the idea where you already have this anchored to one city. So well done on that. Over to you, Vilta. The same two timelines, please.
Well, within this year, I hope that we will manage to manifest the factory process and start to make those panels for the big market. And for 2030, the huge ambition is, to rebuild the Ukraine. And we're already collaborating with a lot of farmers from Ukraine because they used to be a huge group of hemp growers. So we have a lot of stocks in Lithuania from them. So yeah, hopefully this building material and acoustic solutions will help to rebuild Ukraine and each of our life to be more organic.
Wow, thank you so much. I think we all have concerns for the future of Ukraine, and we work with our Trikovit, an NGO based there, and I think it's something the rebuilding, which in some ways has already started, but it's something we all want to see come to fruition. So I'll just try sum up some of what you have brought to light. Just in terms of timelines, it's September 2025. It almost scares me to think of that. And is actually 10 years previous to this, 193 nations agreed the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So if you just pause and think of that, this is actually perfect timing, because what we're talking about are how we use innovations relating to new European Bauhaus, digital transformation, how we employ these innovations together in a way for good, which is very much aligned with multiple goals. I can counted in my head about 12 of them we're actually talking to today. And that would be our mission 2030. So I think you've brought together really amazing and inspirational perspectives. I think we can share your vision for 2030, your vision for September next year. Hopefully that comes to fruition for all of your shorter term goals or medium term goals. But I think in the end, we can agree, and it's a pleasure at Innovation Value Institute, whereby we, collectively we share a lot of your ambitions already. We hope to work with many of you, and actually all of you in the future. But I think you've given so much, I guess, so many ideas for contemplation here, but not just simply ideas, because that's a very Irish thing to have an idea, but it's a very European thing to actually act. So I think what you've done today is given us a call to action. So thank you individually, Anna, Annika, Maddie, and Vilta, from Sweden to Estonia, to Brussels, to Vilnius. Thanks so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
organizing.
you very much.
Thanks everybody for listening, and thanks for the team here for supporting us.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch with some of you, given you gave us lots of food for thought. So thanks again.
Perfect. Have a good evening.
Great. Have a good evening. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.